can't watch the new Incredibles animation, not without knowing the latest news about this movie. Are you ready to find out everything that's going to happen to Pixar's heroes? 3 children. The truth is, it's time for a new generation of heroes in the Pixar world. The Parr family will be back, but what many people don't know is that this movie will feature a time jump, and the 3 children of Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl will be the new protagonists. Everyone knows that the first movie focused a lot on the father of the family, and that the second was about the mother, but this time it will be the teenagers who take all the spotlight. However, there's a change. As we said, there will be a time jump, and because of that, all of them will be older. Jack will be a pre-teen, and his siblings will already be at the beginning of adulthood. This could mean many things as well. The first is that Pixar still hasn't made it clear whether only one of the children will have more protagonism. If that's true, then we can even expect more movies focusing on the other characters. The other possibility is that a new type of villain will appear. But will this antagonist plan finally work this time? An inexperienced hero can cause many problems. What do you think? Are you ready to hear more about this movie? That's right, another Cinewave is coming for you to enjoy. Older. But if the new protagonists will be Violet, Dash, and Jack, what will their parents be doing? Well, the answer is a bit simple to understand. Let's explain. Do you remember how Elastigirl felt deceived and sad in the first movie? Or how difficult it was for Mr. Incredible to take care of things at home while his wife was getting all the attention? You could say that both movies show how the parents of the Parr family feel bad when they are not being heroes. If there is going to be a time jump, then Mr. Incredible will be older, and Elastigirl too. And you know how that can affect their feelings. They will feel old, and because of that, they might even feel jealous of their children. But does that mean they will lose their powers or become weaker? And if you think that's impossible, let's remember that The Incredibles has always shown problems within the hero's family. So talking about such a serious subject is not impossible at all. But what do you think about that? Villain. We know exactly what the next antagonist's power will be. Doubt it? Let's show you right now. Do you remember what the villain Syndrome's power was in the first movie? He invented the most impressive machines of all, such as robots and aircraft capable of defeating the most powerful superheroes of all. And what about Evelyn Dever, the villain of Incredibles 2? She used super advanced technology capable of hypnotizing people and controlling superheroes. Just from that, we bet you already understand where we're going, right? The villains in this universe are intelligent. They have highly advanced minds, and that's why they are so hard to defeat. It's hard to think that the next antagonist won't have that kind of power, because if it's something else, then there might not even be a mystery. The villain would just be defeated by brute force against the other heroes. That's why it's almost certain it will be this way, and you can expect the next villain to be a genius. There's even a theory about it. Maybe super intelligence is such a heavy power that it drives a person insane. Do you believe that? Edna. Still talking about super intelligence, the villain Syndrome and Evelyn Dever are 2 characters who don't even come close to Edna, and she is not a villain, not yet, because if her power really leads to madness, then Edna might go crazy soon. But what if it's her twin sister? It would be interesting to learn more about the family of this character that everyone loves. Edna could have a twin sister who is just as intelligent as she is, but who unfortunately hates heroes and wants to destroy them. Would a character like that be capable of defeating our heroes? Probably yes, since she knows all of their suits and their weaknesses. Would you like to have your hero suit made by Edna Mode? Comment the hashtag hero so we can get to know you. Powers. What if Jack loses his powers? That's not such a hard theory to believe. Pixar said years ago that the youngest baby in the family had many powers because newborns have great potential, which means they can become anything. Edna says in the second movie that the youngest child of Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl may lose some of his powers as he grows up, because once his personality is fully formed, that is, the things he likes, how he sees the world and people, once all of that is complete, his powers will settle, and that means Jack will lose most of his powers. Of course, if he is already older in the next movie, then will he already be weaker? Boyfriend. Everyone knows that Tony Rittinger is Violet's eternal crush at school. She really likes him. It's a shame the government erased the boy's memory. Some people think he won't appear in this new movie because if Violet is older, it's almost certain that the 2 of them won't be together anymore. Of course, after school, she will meet other people, but there is a theory about this boy that says he could become a hero too. But wait, how? It's simple. There is a very strong suspicion that heroes were not born with powers. They are a government project. Tony Rittinger would be captured by the military to be given powers. But why? The answer comes in the next topic. Kronos. Anyone who knows the world of The Incredibles knows about the Kronos conspiracy. This theory says that the governments of the world, especially the United States, were behind the villain Syndrome. The truth is that whenever the heroes used their powers, they destroyed several buildings, and all of that was very expensive. So the government came up with the idea of creating a trap to blame the heroes and forbid all of them from existing. By doing this, the government avoided spending mountains of money, but it came at a cost. Because of that, supervillains had room to grow. baby. Another thing that could happen in this movie is Elastigirl getting pregnant again. Yes, it makes sense, and we'll explain. One of the cutest things in The Incredibles is the youngest child in the superhero family, but as we already explained, Jack will grow up, and that will make the character less cute. Even so, Pixar won't make the silly mistake of getting rid of one of the coolest things in the movies. In other words, we need a new baby. Elastigirl will get pregnant again and have another child. If that really happens, do you think she will have another boy or a girl? Violet needs a sister, don't you think? Subscribing is quick, easy, and keeps you updated with everything happening here. Let's go! Mirage. This movie will also bring back a character, Mirage, who was Syndrome's main assistant in the first movie. Mirage is expected to return as a detective. Do you remember that she was the one who found the former heroes for the villain to eliminate? In other words, Mirage's greatest skill is being a detective, and that's what she will do in the next movie. It's almost certain that the character will investigate someone, and that person in her sights is definitely someone from the government. The reason for that? It's simple to answer. The Kronos conspiracy. She will investigate the government because she knows they were the ones who set everything up to stop the heroes from saving people. Is she trying to find out who the real villain is? Definitely yes. Goodbye. Another thing that will happen is that our heroes will have to say goodbye to a character, because the villain will manage to take one of their lives. We still don't know who that character would be, but there are two clear options of who it could be. The first is the Ice Hero, one of the most beloved characters in the entire Pixar universe. And the second is Mr. Incredible's friend, the CIA agent, Dicker. These two characters could lose their lives in the final battle, and that makes perfect sense. The first movie already made it clear that The Incredibles is not afraid to take the lives of its heroes, so our bet is that someone good will die. What do you think about that? Moon. Another thing that still hasn't happened in this universe is involving other planets. We still don't know whether aliens exist in the world of The Incredibles or not, and if they did, it would be really cool to see. But what if the new villain creates a lunar ray? Think about how that makes total sense. The villain, being an evil genius, builds a device on the moon. This super powerful laser would be capable of destroying any place on Earth, and in exchange for never activating the weapon, the villain forces every country in the world to obey his orders. Because of that, the only solution would be to send a hero to that fortress in space to destroy the villain's laser. There is only one person capable of solving this problem: Violet. Her ability to create force fields would definitely help her survive in space without needing a special suit. With that, Violet manages to enter the enemy base without being seen by anyone. She uses her invisibility and her force fields, all in a super secret mission, but when she gets there, our heroine discovers that she has been tricked. This also happens a lot in The Incredibles. The hero is deceived by the villain. Violet will discover that the ones behind all of this are the governments of the world through the Kronos conspiracy. As we already explained, Kronos' plan is to blame the heroes for the world's problems. Now, let's see how this would work. If Violet actually manages to destroy the laser, but in a way that ends up destroying part of the moon, the whole world would blame the heroes, and people would turn against them. Until Violet manages to prove that all of this was a lie created by the villain, the heroes will suffer a lot. What do you think about this possibility? Girlfriend. But the movie should also focus a lot on Dash's life, and since he will be older, it's natural to think that this character might get a girlfriend. It's almost certain that this will happen because so far only his sister has had a love interest, but in recent days we discovered a fan theory that makes total sense. As we already explained, heroes are always deceived, and everyone loves an enemy to lovers story, right? For those who don't know, enemy to lovers is when two people who don't like each other end up falling in love. This is very popular nowadays, so Dash could meet a very beautiful and nice girl who goes on romantic dates with him, only to later discover that she has powers and works for the villain. But in the end, the two truly fall for each other, and Dash's girlfriend will betray the villain to help the heroes. That would be very romantic, right? What do you think? League. And finally, all the heroes could come together to form a superhero league, all because of a terrible reason. At the end of The Incredibles 3, the villains might also unite. That's because in the last movie, the government allowed the heroes to return, but that could also be a mistake since the villains are back as well and will become more dangerous every day. Now, an even bigger mistake would be not staying here with us to get all the updates. Before you go, take a look at the two videos on the screen. Thanks for watching, and see you next time!